This week's title is Too Much Attention to the Expenditure Side for Judging Current Economic Situation. These are economic indicators updated in this week's CQM and PCA forecast. The updates of GDP and personal income and per consumption expenditure are for the dependent variables of CQM. The difference between real GDP and real GDI growth rate is high as 7.6% in 2020 Q3. October inventories gave the biggest impact on the CQM forecast of GDP on the expenditure side. As a result, the economic growth rate on the expenditure side was revised upward by 2.03% to 6.3%. That on the income side increased by 0.14% to 3.47%. The economic growth rate on the expenditure side is 2.83% higher than that on the income side. PCA forecast revised the economic growth rate by 0.46% from 4.72% to 5.18%, mainly due to the increase in real inventories and the shipment of real manufactured goods in October. In economic theory, economic growth rate is the same whether it is measured in terms of production, income, or expenditure, but in reality it is different due to measurement errors and an underground economy. Therefore, there is statistical discrepancy in NIPA. New York City, which suffers from financial difficulties, often thinks about legalizing prostitution. By answering how NIPA will change with the legalization of prostitution, we can understand why GDP, GDI, and GDE are different. Which indicators should be trusted for better economic growth? Unlike other economist forecasts, CQM and PCA capture economic outlook from 4 kinds of forecasts. We can see the average GDP from both the expenditure and income sides, which is close to GDO. In conclusion from this week's US CQM Forecast Alert, the current US economy is expanding at an annual growth rate of around 5%. It seems too optimistic to assume a growth rate of 10% or more from the expenditure side, which is seen in the market. This slide shows additional information about the original developer of CQM and theoretical papers.